ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Blackjack Schwartz, and on today's episode, in the news, Speed Racer show is in the works at Apple, and a little creative genius has given us some more content to digest, but we'll get to that in the news. The trailer talk this week, there's no trailer talk. The new streaming list is long, and it's the first week of the month, so you know that's quite a plethora of content coming to the streaming services you subscribe to. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then our main review for the episode is Top Gun Maverick. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, of course, by Nathaniel Gingrich, call sign Night Owl.
Yo, what up? What up? I'm Nathaniel Night Owl Gingrich.
You like that?
I like Night Owl. Yeah, that was provided by the internet. So
yeah, what'smycallsign.com, a Top Gun kind of tie-in. I wish it was more in depth. I wish it was like one of those Harry Potter quizzes where you answer like, I don't know, 20, 30 questions, and
Sure.
it gives you a more tailored one.
Sure.
Because you could really just refresh the page, and then you're going to get a random one almost every time.
That's right. I like Night Owl.
Night Owl was cool.
Yeah.
Night Owl was definitely dope. I was feeling good when you sent Night Owl, because I think the one for our first Top Gun review that I gave you was Night Hawk.
That's true. Yes.
So
yeah,
I was
the
like,
router.
damn, I'm right there.
Yeah.
I'm right there. I'm right on it. I think Nighthawk might be cooler, but Night Owl is also pretty cool.
I like that Night Owl has the multiple meanings.
Yeah.
Like, not only could it be an owl that's at night, but it could also be like a stay up late. Maybe
Yep.
maybe like I'm like a specialize at night runs.
You're a stealth runner.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
That'd be cool.
Stealth bomber, stealth pilot. Yeah.
Whoa.
I can see it. Flying at night though, probably harder.
Well, yeah, but I'm a night owl, so it's fine. I got those bird eyes, those owl hunter eyes. You know.
Or night vision. You probably have that too.
The night is a very dark time for me.
It is. Also joining us today, it's Tyler Vidalis, call sign Blizzard.
What's going on?
You cold?
No.
Veins cold?
Cold as ice.
Ice in the veins? How you feeling about Blizzard? I gave you, what did I give you? Talon originally, which was one of the options. Also felt good about this. One of the options on what'smycallsign.com was Talon. I did see it on there.
Maybe Blizzard is like your like flight style, like you're like crazy and wind howling and or like you're really good.
I like to think that I specifically fly on the planet Hoth.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're really good at like creating distractions. Like a Blizzard, like a whiteout. That could be like one of your main moves. Like Blizzard whiteout, and then you'd be like, let all the flares go or something.
Maybe I constantly like only dogfight in the mountains and shit.
There you go.
You're on snow patrol.
You're a mountain specialist.
Yeah.
My jet's all like white and gray, and it's got like black specks all over it, so it blends in.
You specialize in thin air flying.
Sick.
Or snow flying. Imagine
Or
trying to
snow.
High
dog.
altitude.
Could you even dogfight in a blizzard? I feel like that wouldn't be crazy.
Blizzard can.
Only Blizzard can. You know what? Yeah, I like that. I like that. Or maybe he got that by getting a confirmed kill while fighting in a blizzard.
Well, I think he was trained by John Hamm's character Cyclone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his protege. Blizzard.
It's my dad.
If John Hamm is your dad, that's an awesome dad. John Hamm,
The Hamm
Mizzou
man.
alum.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. He's from St. Louis. So
Saint
Brad
Louis.
Pitt, also a Mizzou alum, although he got kicked
Really?
out of UT Austin and then went to Mizzou.
Oh, so not as cool.
And I don't even know if he finished Mizzou. I don't think he
That is
graduated.
cool.
So, but he went there at one point. In fact, on Twitter over this past week, I saw celebrities and their fraternity composite pictures.
Oh, wow.
And William Pitt was one of them. I saw Matthew McConaughey. Who else had one?
Is William Pitt Brad Pitt's real name?
Yeah, apparently that's what it was on the photo. There was another one that I forgot who it was. It was Matthew McConaughey, Brad Pitt. I don't remember the fourth one. There was like four of them, or maybe only three. Either way, saw that there. fun little Mizzou trivia for you, because those are like two of the more notable alumni from there, as far as like Hollywood goes. And rounding out the squadron, which I feel like squadron, that's like it could be our
group name or
yeah,
team
our
name.
Squadron.
Dagger formation.
Yeah, exactly. Squadron formation. It's BlakeHolder, call sign Panther.
Hey, what up? What up?
How you feeling about Panther there, Big Cat?
I'm actually supportive of that. Obviously, you guys know I'm a massive animal advocate,
Of course.
as well as a feline advocate. So,
would it be your big cat of choice for a call sign?
Yeah.
Panther.
I feel like leopard could be a good one.
Jaguar
would be a good one.
Yeah.
But then
I don't know.
You get into the Jaguar debate, and that's tough on the thing. You couldn't go cougar, obviously. Or is there a cougar? Yeah. Isn't there a cougar in Top Gun in the original?
I think there is.
Isn't he the one that like loses his mind? Yeah, you don't want to be cougar.
Yeah, cougar is the one that
mountain lion's too long.
He lost the edge.
That's true.
Cougar lost the edge.
Puma
would be dope.
Could do that. Yeah.
Puma.
But I'm all good with Panther. I like leopards and jaguar, so I'm all good with it.
All right, cool. Well, we can get into the news here. Not a lot of news this week, but another high octane series, I guess. I can't even say film, but we'll go with series, is on the way.
There's a film.
There's a film. This is going to be a series, though.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So Speed Racer, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Speed Racer live action series in the works at Apple from none other than James Jonah Jameson. No, J.J. Abrams. James Jonah. I don't know.
J. Jonah Adams.
J. Jonah Adams. Yeah. Is that what that stands for? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Anyway, J.J. Abrams. He's manning a reboot of Speed Racer at Apple, which was inevitable. This series was coming back at one point.
He's had luck with reboots before. In fact, he's done a lot of work with reboots.
He has. He definitely has. Star Trek, I would say, is overall a success.
Mission Impossible 3.
Star Wars. Star Wars, yeah, started it, didn't know where it was going. Didn't know where it was going, which is like the biggest miss for me. How do you start a trilogy and just leave, ask questions you don't even know the answers to?
But that was never really his role, I would argue.
Well, someone should have had it be. Someone should have had that role. It didn't feel like they did. It felt like they were like, okay, JJ, restart the thing. And he was like, okay, I'll do this. And then, actually, I'm going to dip after this first one. You guys can figure out where it's going. And Ryan Howard was like, okay, maybe
Ryan Howard?
Isn't it Ryan Howard? Is it Ron?
Left-handed first baseman for the Phillies.
Is it Ron or Ryan?
You talking about
who directed Last Jedi?
Ryan Johnson.
Why did I say Howard? Anyway, yeah, you're right. Ryan Johnson. He was like, I guess I'll try this out. That didn't work. And then JJ was like, all right, I guess we'll do this then. I'll try to do this. And then you have the sequel trilogy.
I don't know. I feel like if everyone was starting from the idea of like, hey, JJ, you got to get this started off, and then we're going to have someone else come in and take it over. And then Ryan Johnson did his bit. And then you figured there was Colin Trevorrow who was supposed to finish it out.
Yeah.
And then they were like, nah. And then Carrie Fisher died. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, hey, JJ, please finish this.
Yeah. But that is like, okay, that I can understand.
I'm saying moving forward, yes, I agree with you. You would absolutely start with like having a framework for the trilogy. But I feel like everyone was like in the mindset when they first started off of like,
let's just get this out there.
Let's get it started. This is new ground. We can do anything.
I just feel like you should still even have that mindset of let's figure out where these three movies are going before we start them.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. It was unfortunate, which is such a miss by Disney for whatever reason. Doesn't feel like that's something they usually do. Obviously, all their Marvel stuff feels like there's ties in to Multiverse of Madness that were set up in old Age of Ultron, 10 years ago? Like it's
sure. I mean, I think there's like the Marvel obviously formula has indicated like the way to do it for sure. But I just think it's like hindsight's obviously 2020. This is I guess my point.
Sure, of course.
But we're off track early.
Yes, we are. Speed Racer coming back. This is the first Speed Racer property since 2013.
God, was it that long? Was it that early? No, I thought it was like 2000 and like
I'm trying to find here. Where
They might have came back as like an animated series for a little bit, but I want to say the movie was like 08 or something like that.
It was earlier, wasn't it?
Or 09.
The article definitely has it somewhere, but I forgot. Sorry. As of December 2013, the worldwide rights to the beloved title about the professional racer revered back to Tatsunoko Productions, following a string of lawsuits.
The movie came out in 08, so there must have been another series in 2013.
Yeah, you're right.
Short film.
There we go. Yeah, so the rights, I guess, went back to one of the original productions. I don't know exactly what happened. It's coming back to Netflix, though. The 2008 was a flop in the box office. It ended up losing Warner Bros. Money, so of course it didn't greenlight a second one. That's the Wachowski sisters.
Yes.
Who did that one? I haven't seen that in quite a while.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? Okay. Of course, when I was like 8, I liked that movie when it came out, but I was 8 and I just liked fast cars. I don't know how it would hold up going back to it. I remember there being some really interesting choices with that, kind of looking back at it, as far as like kind of converting an anime or manga into live action was it was one of the first ones I can remember them doing. I'm sure they've done it in the past, but like the first ones I've seen kind of take on that style. Now we've had several kind of those adaptations since then.
I remember that as being one of like the first movies in my life where I saw the trailer and I was just like, nah, not gonna go see that one. Like that looks like a headache waiting to happen. Like I just remember having that exact thought.
Yeah.
Nowadays, obviously, I feel like I would watch it. I would watch it again nowadays just to kind of like see exactly what you said, like as an adaptation of a manga or an anime.
Mm-hmm.
What
I'm
that
sure
was
there's
like
probably a caravan of garbage on that.
in 08. It could be. Maybe.
That or it just feels like a movie they would do it on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember at the time just being like, nah, not gonna see that one.
Fair. It takes a lot of willpower to have that first one where you're just like, I don't care.
It's a seminal moment in every young person's life.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers their first.
Meh. Their first meh. Yeah. So there's really no kind of timeline on this. I think this is kind of just getting started here, but at least know what J.J. Abrams is going to be working on going forward. And who knows? I have faith in him to kind of bring something fun back. And Apple TV Plus, like
Apple's got a pretty good hit rate.
That's what I was about to say. Is I haven't been watching a lot of what Apple's been putting out, but I've been hearing great things about a ton of what Apple's been putting out, and so maybe I should be going back. Obviously, you have Ted Lasso. Everyone kind of knows that one. That's kind of blown up, and is probably their most successful one. I would say. But even their other shows, I've heard really good things about. So maybe Apple's becoming a sleeper streaming service.
Who knows?
Yeah. But that's it for the Speed Racer, and then the creative genius I was referencing earlier, of course, is a friend of the pod, Bo Burnham.
Friend of the pod.
I'm just throwing that out there.
You're just claiming that?
Yeah, because eventually he's gonna get on here, right?
Dream guest.
Oh my God, dude!
I don't know, man. I'm really rooting for the whole Miles Teller thing to still come back.
Well, yeah, that's very timely.
Especially now.
Yeah, it's very timely. I've heard Miles Teller though is kind of an asshole.
Is he?
I don't care.
That's what
I
I've
think we'll
heard.
get along great.
I've heard he's pretty difficult.
Well, everyone can have their own dream guest. Tyler can have Miles Teller.
Okay.
You can have
Bo Burnham.
Bo
Burnham was probably mine, that or Donald Glover.
Sure.
Because I think he's probably the most talented person alive. But
I'm gonna keep mine.
I don't know if
for
Miles
later
Teller
date.
would be my dream guest, but
who would be then?
Well, he's on your list.
yeah, he's making the list for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a dream guest then, Ty?
I don't.
Okay.
That's
Max
that's
Verstappen?
That's a big list.
Okay. You didn't even say Max.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
That's a hard decision. I think I'm with you on the Donald Glover one, though.
Right.
He's definitely one of the more talented people in the world. Absolutely.
He's done. He's
sing, dance, act.
Yeah,
produce.
he's exactly.
He's like a modern day Jamie Foxx.
I would argue much better than Jamie Foxx at all of those things.
Ooh, I don't know if you've encountered enough Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm
not the
like
biggest Jamie Foxx
talented,
fan,
man.
but I'm not saying he's not. I just think Donald Glover is.
I think
more
he just peaked a little before your time. And
yes, he definitely did.
If he was like in today's modern age with social media and stuff, he would be like to the Donald Glover level.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay,
For sure.
I could see that happening. Anyway, Bo Burnham has dropped.
Anyway, your dream podcast guest.
My dream podcast guest and future best friend, Bo Burnham.
And noted tall man.
Is he tall?
I think he's like 6'4" or something.
Is he
like
really?
Like
Okay,
6'6".
I could see that. I didn't think he was like. I knew he was like above 6 foot. I didn't think he was 6'6" tall, which I could see. Either way, 1 year after he released his critically acclaimed special Inside to Netflix, which Nathaniel and I have talked extensively about multiple times and brought up quite a few times since that came out, and I have probably seen a countless number of times. And if you count listens through the album on Spotify, I don't think you can even like quantify the number.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan. Loved the special. Loved all the music. He surprise dropped another hour of the special in the form of what he calls the Inside Outtakes. So it's basically, he announced on Twitter last night. This is very recent. Where last night, as we were about to head to the movie, me, Nathaniel, and Waz, we're about to head to go see Top Gun Maverick. See it on Twitter. He tweeted out "Stand by" initially, and then about 15 minutes after that, he tweeted, I've spent the last 2 months editing unreleased footage that didn't make it into the special because I have just so much of it, and I spent the last 2 months editing it. It's going to be out in 1 hour. Enjoy." And so he released it on YouTube for free with no ads or anything like that, unless you count the ads that he put into the special himself.
Which tricked me the first time.
Oh, it definitely tricked me the first time. I was like, Nathaniel, I thought you had YouTube Red.
Yes, the old streaming service, YouTube Red.
What is it? YouTube Premium?
YouTube Premium, yeah.
Premium, yeah.
Okay. It wasn't YouTube Red the first iteration of that?
Yeah, it definitely was. But I like your dedication to the name. No, I think You're earning your millennial stripes now.
Oh man, I'm about to turn 22, man.
You've reached the first era where your pop culture knowledge has slipped behind.
Ooh, I don't like that. my sister had on a podcast that was featuring Dixie D'Amelio today, and I was like, "Who is that?" And she's like, "It's Dixie D'Amelio," and I'm like, "Who are the people on the podcast?" And she's like, "It's this and this," and I can't even remember their names. I've never even heard of them.
Just TikTok stars.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, wow, they're talking about things I can't imagine anyone caring about.
That's gonna be our generation's like Facebook, where we're just like these people are so famous to that next generation. We have no idea,
right?
Like, who they are.
That's already happening.
At least with like music and movies and stuff, like I have an access into that. Now it's like completely gone.
Yeah, man.
For the next generation of pop culture.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, he released all this stuff. It's an hour and 6 minutes, I think, long YouTube video of just bloopers and unreleased songs that obviously, like I said, didn't make it into the original special. But a lot of things he does, there's a couple times where he'll play a song that did make it in the special, and you just kind of see how many like different ideas he had for filming that song, shot ideas, but also like how many takes it took. There's 2 or 3 times he does it where he'll play a song, and all of this is from the camera audio, by the way. So it's just the room audio. It's not the refined recorded audio that it was put into the final special. It's just like the room audio, which I love.
Rough cut.
Exactly, yeah. And so he like plays his original, the final take that makes it in the special, but then overlaid on top of that are sometimes dozens of his other takes, and like he'll play them all at the beginning, and then one by one, as each take fails or he messes up or something doesn't go right, you just see him stop that footage, and it's removed off the screen until you finally have like 2 or 3 of the takes, and then eventually it's like towards the end of the song, one of them, the other ones just like pop off the screen because he messed up right at the end. And so it's just like all these takes, and you kind of get an idea of how infuriating this must have been and how long it took to film some of this stuff, because it's very impressive how much cutting and camera angles and work he put into this, because he did every single thing, lighting, directing, everything is his own creation.
It was a one-man show.
It was a one-man show
in all sense of the word.
Yeah. And so he had to learn a bunch of stuff for himself, because obviously he has some camera experience, but he had to do all of that himself, the lighting all himself, and so you kind of see him playing with that, and then you also kind of see him like learn throughout it. So this was kind of like a glorified behind the scenes and bloopers reel, but it also and then also like deleted scenes all wrapped into one.
Yeah, and it was a better idea of his process.
Exactly, yeah. Which I was already kind of assumed. A lot of this, what he showed, is kind of things that I had assumed from watching that, because you can just tell how many. How like the details he put into a lot of his stuff, whether it's just small things, like there's a couple times he cuts in the original or inside, he has like just a shot of like a airplane flying through his blinds.
Yeah.
It's just a one shot, and in this outtakes, there's like 3 or 4 shots of him like trying to find an airplane as it's flying by that he can see through his blinds, and every time it's at like just the wrong angle or he can't get the focus right, and he's just like fuck. He does it like 3 or 4 times. You just can't get a plane. There are also like there are full songs in here that didn't make it into the original that I feel like very well could have.
Sure.
Some songs like I enjoy some more than some of the songs that made it into the original, like or into the actual special.
I'm sure they'll release a deluxe edition.
That's what I was thinking too. Is that it releases like a deluxe of the Inside album and to Spotify or something like that. Because they are fully finished. At least some of them feel like they're a little bit shorter. Maybe not a little bit. Maybe not as like in depth as far as like lyrically goes. But there's a Drake kind of spoof.
Yeah.
Of like 2 people dating for like 5 years. Now they're in court together, and they're like kind of fighting. And it starts with him. It starts with like a voicemail, and he's leaving the voicemail. And goes, "Hey, just want to say I love you, and I just want to leave this voicemail because I was writing a song about you, and I wanted to play this voicemail at the beginning of the song. So if you can like just download this voicemail and send it to me immediately after you get this, that'd be great." And then, it kind of goes into like a Drake beat, and I don't know, it's so much creative stuff still, and a lot of like different versions of songs, or you kind of see his writing process where he started a song and like the lyrics he changed, or the song at the end. What is it called? It's like it's one of the final 2.
I don't know, but we should move on to...
Yeah, we can move on. Anyway. I feel like...
a little preview of what we're watching.
I was about to say, I'll skip over a lot of this in my what we're watching, because I've obviously gone pretty in-depth here, but, one of his final songs, he, like, had a few iterations of that. And yeah, basically, if you liked Inside, this is on YouTube for free, with no ads, anything like that. It's an hour long. It really does... kind of feels like a part 2 almost. Like a lot of this, even though it's not as refined, is still very good content, still very funny. And, obviously a lot more raw than the full special, but still very, very good. And I'm sure if he wanted to, he could release another one of these. Like I'm sure he has that much content out, and I wouldn't be opposed. Well, that's it for the news here. Like I said, no trailer talk this week, so we're just going to head into Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of May 29th through June 4th. To Netflix, we are getting Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. That's the original.
Lanolin?
Dumb and Dumber, Mission Impossible 2, and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. All 3 of those coming to Netflix. The Amazing Spider-Man, the original Andrew Garfield one, is coming to Netflix. The Departed, The Fighter, The Hurt Locker, Titanic, and Troy. Speaking of Brad Pitt.
Those are bangers.
Right? It's a good list for Netflix. Some of them are coming back. We've seen a few of those on Netflix before, but still a good list regardless. Amazon Prime is getting Call Me By Your Name, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Black Swan, The Hills Have Eyes, The Sandlot, Groundhog Day, Shaun of the Dead, Megamind, Top Gun is finally coming back to streaming services, of course, right before the movie launches for people to watch. So it's very timely there, Amazon. They're getting Top Gun, Twilight. The whole Twilight saga is coming to Amazon. I'm not even going to read them all. I don't care. Galaxy Quest and Fences, the play adaptation with Denzel Washington.
Sorry, I just looked at Hulu and half of them are in caps and it was very aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I got them all from the same website I usually get them from, and for some reason they just put this list in caps. I noticed that as I was copying, I was like, why is this one in caps? So I don't know if they had a different writer put them on that day, but they're all in caps for some reason, and I just didn't feel like going back and retyping them all, so here we are. Hulu is getting Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. No Yaiba. The Entertainment District Arc Complete Season 1. Is this just Season 2, essentially?
It's the second half of Season 2.
Second half of Season 2. Gotcha. Or Season 1, you mean?
No, it's Season 2. I don't know why they have it like that, but it's Season 2.
Okay. So, okay. All right. But that's dubbed. They're getting GameStop Rise of the Players. I think that's the documentary about how everyone manipulated the GameStop stock price back in early 2021?
2020.
Was it 2020?
Yeah, I think that's 2020.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
That seems
2021.
so long.
Early era pandemic. It was long ago now.
I thought that was like more.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
I thought that was like January of 2021. I don't know. It was around that time. Anyway, 30 minutes or less, 50 first dates. Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien v Predator, and Alien v Predator Requiem.
Sweet.
So all of the Alien movies, and on top of that, we're getting Predator, Predator 2, and Predators, as well as Prometheus. I guess I should put that by the Alien stuff, but Prometheus is coming too. So, that whole cinematic universe is coming to Hulu.
Well, Prey is going to Hulu, though, right? Isn't that...
The new one?
Yeah, when is that?
That's August, and yes, that is coming straight to Hulu as well. So it all makes sense there.
They're probably gearing up for that.
Yep. And then, let's see, Bridesmaids, Burn After Reading, Die Hard. Oh, there's a bunch of Die Hards here. It's Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, A Good Day to Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard. I think that's all of them, but I don't know.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. There might be one missing, but that's a lot of them. The Fifth Element, Napoleon Dynamite.
Bruce Willis again.
Yeah. Napoleon Dynamite, Pineapple Express, not Bruce Willis. And Slumdog Millionaire, and Weekend at Bernie's is rounding out Hulu's list. HBO Max here is getting 300, A Star is Born 2018, Angels and Demons, Blue Bayou, one we tried to review and then ended up not being able to review because I couldn't find a screening of it. So maybe we circle back to that. Who knows?
Yeah, I think we actually did. Is that when we did Reminiscence?
I believe so. That sounds right. Yeah,
Man,
probably around the same time.
My memory of this podcast is so hit or miss sometimes. I completely forgot about that movie.
Yeah. The Da Vinci Code, The Grand Budapest Hotel. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Which I feel like that's like the third time in about 6 months those have come to the streaming list.
Yeah, and I never click if I never watch them.
Yeah, you always put them on there for Blake.
I do.
Yeah.
So, Blake, if you want to not click on them again, they're coming to HBO Max.
Well, you always know where they are.
Exactly. And then we're getting Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Rambo 3. And then Total Recall, the original from 1990.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Were we just talking about that, Nathaniel?
I feel like we were. Yeah, we were talking about both of them because we were asking if you had seen Dread, and I think you've seen the reboot of Total Recall, and you're trying to figure out if it was different movies or not.
Ah, okay. Yep.
And then we're also getting Watchmen.
You're watching Watchmen?
I'm watching Watchmen. I've seen Watchmen.
Have you seen this series?
I love Watchmen.
I've not. I've heard it's incredible.
Yeah, you got to read the comic, though.
Yeah, that's what I've also heard, and I just have not done that yet either. But
the series
graphic novel
is HBO.
Sorry.
Oh my
as
God.
well, right?
It was, yeah.
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 And I heard, are they doing, wasn't it?
Oh, it's just done. It's one and
that's
done.
what I was going to say is like the director was like, we're not doing a second season, which I'm like, respect, please. We don't need these 7-8 seasons shows all the time. Unless it's Game of Thrones. Give me all the Game of Thrones. Or Inside the TV show. Give me that, Bo. Give me that. That's it for HBO, and then Disney Plus is getting Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3.
Episode Trace.
And for you musical theater kids out there, Glee is coming to Disney Plus, which I could not care less about. Glee kids are the worst, right?
You're not a musical theater kid?
No. No.
You're not a Glee kid?
Will that get me canceled if I say Glee kids are the worst? People who like Glee are the worst. They always love Glee so much, and I just couldn't care less. And they're always like, it's the best show ever. And I go, I'm watching, and they just sing a cappella and stuff, and I don't really care.
I watched a lot of Glee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't like you.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Although
okay, folks, we'll have a good night. And
the last episode of Back Row Banter. I tapped out at a certain point, but yeah, I watched Glee.
Okay. Do you like it? Did you like it?
I thought it was fine.
I'm sure it's
funny.
Fine.
Yeah.
I say all that not really having seen much Glee. I've seen a couple episodes, and I just have never enjoyed what
it is so of its time.
Yeah,
like,
that too.
It's just one of those things that I like. Yeah, has not aged well at all.
Yeah,
like we're in a very much post-irony world, I think now.
Sure.
And like that was a show that was kind of at the height of a certain earnestness that is definitely gone now.
Yes, no, 100%. Well, Glee
if you want to
Kids.
relive it, though.
Yeah, if you want to relive that era, it's coming to Disney Plus for you. And Glee Kids, if you're mad, give us a 5-star review. Let us know how much you hate me. Anyway, that's it for the new streaming. Let's get into what we're watching here, guys. Nathaniel, what did you watch this past week?
Oh, you want to know what I watched?
I would love to know, and I think a few of the viewers might as well.
Okay, well, I got to a little bit of a list here. I got to the original Karate Kid.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, always a good one to go back to and rewatch. Written by the same guy that wrote The Fifth Element, which is on the new to streaming list this week.
Timely.
Yes. So makes me think maybe I'll go and watch the second and third one and then maybe start Cobra Kai officially.
Oh, I've heard Cobra Kai is incredible.
Yeah. But who knows? We'll see. I actually got to Mad Max Fury Road the first time I got to see the black and chrome edition, which is the black and white.
Like the black and white.
Yeah.
Where did you find that at?
Actually, it was on our friend's Apple TV. So
Okay.
he owned it as a copy. I'm not sure where you can get it besides like a digital copy or something like that. But to be honest with you, I prefer the color version. There was definitely some shots in there that were like super cool in black and white and definitely a little bit of a different vibe. But I think that's a movie that the color matters to it and is, those heavy saturations and everything. It hides some of the special effects in some ways and also makes it flow a little bit better. So, yeah, really cool to see. But I think having seen both, I prefer the color version now.
Still haven't seen it since theaters.
How dare you.
I can't get a second opinion on it.
At some point. We'll do that for the pod.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm gonna keep an open mind. I've said how I wasn't overly impressed with it, and I don't think it's bad. I remember going into that and everyone saying how good it was, and then I watched and I was like, why is this so good? But again, I was 15 at the time, so things have changed.
I also watched a comedian that we enjoy. His name's Xavier Michaelides. He had a special that he released this year called "Let Us Do This." So we watched that. Watched the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yes, great race.
Yes, it was very fun. Had a little bit of a delayed start, which worked out for me because I got to sleep in a little bit.
Did not work out for me.
And then I caught the delayed start on there, and I got to watch everything. It was pretty cool.
Ty, did you watch that too?
Ask me that question.
Fun race for your boy Checo. Happy for him.
Man. Awesome.
The whole team, man.
Whole team, especially after he got screwed over on what was that? What was last week's?
Spain.
Spa, yeah.
You can't really say that.
I know he didn't get completely screwed over, but
Max would have flown past him.
I don't know. He's good at defending, clearly.
All right, so moving on. You guys can discuss that in your own what we're watching bits. I got to some of Love, Death, and Robots. I actually started the first couple episodes of season 3, I think, and then actually went back and finished out season 2. So I will continue watching season 3 though, and it's been fun, very, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
There's one episode, I think the second episode of the season, is directed by David Fincher, and it is pretty harrowing. I enjoyed it quite a bit. We watched The Mummy, the 1998's The Mummy, classic Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz film. Cannot recommend it enough. Good old fashioned romp. As we talked about, has probably one of my favorite bits of cinema.
Yeah.
In which Brendan Fraser just walks into a room, grabs a chair, and hurls it, tomahawks it across the room into a running away man's back. And it's just if I could have it as a GIF,
make it a GIF. You can make your own GIFs, Nathaniel.
No, I'm a boomer, bro.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, once I have that as a GIF, maybe I'll make it like my lock screen or something. We also got to Tron Legacy, always a classic. Really great soundtrack.
Should probably say he keeps saying we because I came over for Memorial Day.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I'm using
day
the
before
royal
Memorial
we.
Day. Yes. And so it was a bunch of people over here actually.
We had a little grill out.
Kind of an eclectic mix of
yeah,
people.
there's a big mix of like my friends through Tyler, and then you, and then Waz's friends.
Yeah, it was an interesting crowd, but it was so fun. I came over. They were already probably 45 minutes into Mummy or so. Nathaniel has had an oopsie, so I'll keep talking while he cleans that up a little bit. It was also a spilled beer, not any other kind of oopsie. Don't get the minds dirty over there, listeners. Anyway,
weird.
Yeah, we had a bit of a grill out. I can't use we there. Waz and Nathaniel had a bit of a grill out. Came over. They were about 45 minutes in the Mummy, so I saw like the last 2/3 of it or so. So that was fun. I haven't seen that since I was like a kid. And Nathaniel's right. Brendan Fraser is very good in that film, and that bit that he was referencing with the chair is also really funny.
I think my favorite part from that movie is when the boat goes down. And he's like, O'Connor, looks like I have all the horses. He's like, Benny, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Yeah.
That's like my best. That's like
that was pretty good.
That movie.
Yeah. I love that part. There's much more fun than I expected because, again, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I can't really remember much from that movie. But it was I can understand why people like it so much. It's almost like a classic at this point. What was that, 99? Yeah. So 23 years ago, it's climbing up there. So yeah, that was definitely fun watching that. And then that ended. Some people cleared out, and then Nathaniel was just scrolling around Vudu, and he put on Tron Legacy, a movie that has been referenced quite a few times on Pod. A movie I've not seen since it came to theaters back in 2011, I believe. So it's been a while for me. That was almost like a first watch because again I hadn't seen it in so long. That was awesome. Really had a great time with that.
Sorry there, boys. Missed the coaster.
All good.
Yeah, so as Adam was filling in
Better
there.
than missing the toilet, Nathaniel.
It's true. As Adam said, I got to both Tron Legacy and The Mummy. And then I also watched the new Chip and Dale, which is anyone heard about this? It's on Disney+. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, my favorite chipmunks from the 80s.
No.
Oh, that.
It's really fun. They're voiced by Andy Samberg and John Mulaney now, and it's directed by one of the guys that did from the Lonely Island, and it's definitely kind of like an updated Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Would recommend. Cool little afternoon viewing. It's on Disney+. Worth your time, I would say. And then other than that, I got to Top Gun Maverick, but I will kick it over to Tyler. Tell me what you watched.
I also got around to the Monaco Grand Prix, and I had a fairly good time. I was a little upset with the delay. Yeah. It was funny because at one point they kind of cycle through the team radios, and you hear Max, who's on my favorite team and probably my favorite driver currently, and he's like, I don't get it. I don't know what we're waiting for. Like, let's get a move on. And I'm sitting at home, like on my couch. I'm like, yeah, same, bud. Like, what are we waiting for? It's rain. So that was pretty funny. But I had a really good time watching that. Obviously, a good result for the team. And I'm always for Checo winning a race because, God, I love the man.
Only his third win, which is a little surprising.
But very a rather important win for him. First Mexican to win the Grand Prix at Monaco, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's like that's such a classic race. Isn't that the oldest course in the
oldest course on the track? I think now.
Yeah, I think so.
Or at least the oldest street course. oldest course in the circuit.
Yeah.
At least the oldest street course. Silverstone might be the older one.
It might be, but I saw on Twitter Zach Brown's appealing to try and have them remove it, and in favor of a course that is more in line with the other courses that they're racing on now, because you watch Monaco, and I was thinking about that as I was watching this race, and I kind of agree. Like, this is no one that's, I think on a dry day, I think they said no one outside of the top three at the start of the race have won the race.
Yeah, but I think it's like it'd be like tearing down Fenway or like Wrigley.
That's true.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
you'll lose a lot of nostalgic fans for sure. There will be some uprisings.
It's a very different course from when they
may change the course.
Maybe they do. Yeah, I feel like they got to do something. It feels like a very different course from when the cars were half the width. You know, the car takes up almost 60% of that street, and so most of the time at least, and it's just very hard to pass. So
they should just build a course around the island, just like as a big bridge.
I love it.
There's a big circle going around Monaco.
Bridge course?
Yeah, I mean,
you crash into the wall, you're sinking.
I kind of like the fact that there's not a ton of passing. I saw a breakdown of which Grand Prix have the highest percentage of how important your pole position is, because its odds are you're not going to change. But I like it a lot because I think the strategy things kind of come into play, which is what you saw in this race. Obviously,
Sure.
Leclerc and Sainz were supposed to essentially win. It was a front row, and because of the strategic team, they kind of got nipped in the butt.
Good point.
But either way, racing's racing, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining race. I will say it's very entertaining to watch them get so close to those walls going so fast.
Truth.
It's crazy, bro.
That track, I can't imagine.
I can't believe Mick Schumacher's just fine the way that car ended up.
Well, when they showed the car initially without showing the crash, you're like, oh, God.
Right.
And then they kind of show the crash, and it honestly was him just going into the wall and the gearbox, back half the gearbox falling off. It wasn't like he clipped the wall and then was spun even more. It was just like, oh, he hit the wall and the gearbox disconnected. But it's still a bad crash, of course. But I think looking at the car before they showed what actually happened, it looked a lot worse than it actually was.
Right.
True.
But yeah, that course, like, I can't imagine how fine-tuned your senses have to be to your car.
And it's wet.
Course. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I think that's part of the reason they were hesitating so much, is that's a lot of water for a track that tight. Again, I think they could have raced 100%, but I think they were just trying to be cautious.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Great race, though.
Anywho. I got around to some more trash TV. I don't know why I've been stuck on Kitchen Nightmares. I've always loved Gordon Ramsay, and it's just something that I've always had a fond for. Those shows like Fortune and Fire. They're just constantly doing something. You can see something being done, and cooking's always been kind of like a back burner passion for me. Not that, no pun intended. But yeah, I love Kitchen Nightmares. I love Gordon Ramsay. I don't know why. So, I also got around to Love, Death, Robots. Unlike Nathaniel, I hammered through the whole thing in a day. I did not stop, so that was fun. A really, really, really good season. I like this better than the better than the second season for sure.
Yeah.
I would have to rewatch the first season to get a better idea on whether or not I like this or the third season better. So
the giant crab,
really, really well done.
Giant crab guy scared the shit out of me.
Dude, what a cool episode.
Yeah, that was the David Fincher one.
Yeah. So yeah, super, super big fan of that show, and I was very excited when they announced the third season. And like I said, I watched the shit out of it. So I also got around to the first 3 episodes of Stranger Things season 4.
Not done.
I am fucking locked.
Oh yeah,
really,
Oh, man.
Bro.
That's what everyone keeps saying. But at this point, I'd have to go back to season 1 and do a whole watch through again. It's just it's so much work.
baby.
Yeah. Anyway.
If you get around to it,
Yeah.
I think that it has definitely redeemed itself and made itself worthy again. I think so far the first 3 episodes have definitely got me kind of. Usually I'm quite a lounger on the couch. This has kind of got me sitting a little bit more upright, feet planted on the ground, and kind of leaning in a little bit. Yeah. So very very good so far.
Okay. I've heard that from a lot of people. I've also heard it leans a little bit more into horror and gore than.
So that was going to be my question: was how the horror element in this season?
So they definitely they're definitely getting more of those kind of cliche shots that we see from horror movies. It's not really falling into too many tropes, but you can kind of see they're doing the pan past something, so maybe you're expecting a jump scare, but then it doesn't do the jump scare. So they're actually being pretty smart with it, and the body gore that they've actually shown so far has been really, really good so far. So I've been pretty excited on that too.
Cool.
Okay.
So
yeah, no, that's pleasing to hear.
Yeah, and it seems like there's an actual villain at this point, and you're kind of getting to where you're able to kind of tie that story in a little bit more. They're not just fighting, some kind of shadow or some kind of fucking thing that just doesn't exist, or so they're kind of trying to tie everything up, and you can definitely see it, and I think it's playing very well in their favor.
Okay.
I also got to Obi-Wan, both episodes.
I got to that too. That was not on my list. Sorry.
Idiot.
I also got to that.
Is that live action?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's the last thing other than obviously Top Gun, but we can kind of open that up between the three of us, and then we can go into Adam, what you're watching, because I'm sure you watch these episodes as well.
I did. Yeah, we talked a little bit about a little bit at work. Do we want to do a spoilers? Is that really necessary? I don't know how much there is to spoil here. Besides, there's like a character that's not in the trailer that is a very pertinent part of this show. If you guys know what I'm saying. I don't know if that's much of a spoiler. All right.
I think that anybody that's probably listening to this is probably an advocate and has probably already watched, or But yeah, I mean, listen at your own risk,
All
person.
right. Yeah. Well, then I'll just do the timestamp anyway, just in case. So skip to the timestamp below if you don't want it spoiled for you. Adding more work for myself, just for you, listener. Anyway. Yeah. So we talked about it. I like where this is going.
Yeah.
I really like Leia. That's kind of the character.
Little Leia.
Little Leia, perfectly cast. So much enthusiasm and everything. It's just it's fun.
Precocious.
What a great word. Great word to describe her. Yeah, that's been a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, I thought it's good. Ewan McGregor, as always, superb. I think the question I was having going into it was, how are we going to tie this all in and all that stuff. And it's like, as soon as they went to Leia, I was like, oh yeah, of course. The answer is staring me in the face the whole time. Leia, that's a great, connection for Obi-Wan to have and makes sense within the storyline and everything like that. So I've been pretty pleased with it. Excited to see where it goes. Thought a couple things from like the first episode were a bit rushed, like the Benny Safdie character.
Yeah.
And everything. That seemed to be moving a little bit quick. But we'll see where it goes. Tyler, since this was what you were watching anyways.
Yeah, I got like my little nitpicks about it. Some of the chase scenes were a little questionable, and I kind of thought I was watching like an old episode of Power Rangers, kind of.
I thought I was watching one of my fraternity brothers chase down a ping pong ball at a party, just like going through everyone's legs, man. It gotta get through. It was really awkward to watch.
Yeah, and there's some things.
I still don't think it was as bad as the bit in Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or whatever it is, Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, when they just cut to that completely random stunt guy doing the flip.
Oh, yeah.
Then
that was
kept
jarring.
Going. That was still the worst one for me. This one,
that was pretty funny.
I was at least like, okay, yeah, I understand why you have to film it this way. That one,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that's just a different guy.
Yeah, 100%. I was also shocked to see Flea from Red Hot Chili
That was
Peppers
great.
show up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I this is kind of random, but I'm not mad about it. Like he's clearly not an actor, but he doesn't have a very big role, so who cares?
You got his face burnt off.
Yeah.
He actually has had some acting in the past.
He's in the Big Lebowski.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
We just talked about how I haven't seen that, and
Yeah.
we gotta kind of get it on here soon. But
So it's cool that you kind of get to see a lot of those different characters. Kumail, I can never pronounce his last name, but he's funny as
Nanjiani,
shit.
I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he's
Kingo.
great. Funny dude, really good actor. I think this is probably going to be a pretty fun casting for him, so that's pretty cool.
Do you think he comes back, or do you think his character's already done?
No, I think we see him.
Yeah. Okay.
Star Wars has told me anything. They always come back, bro.
He didn't die, so.
So, and then you also get Sung Kang from Han from Tokyo
he's
Drift.
great.
So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
But,
he's
other than that,
awesome.
it's
They
fun.
they cover his face though, which is kind of annoying, but
Yeah, I'm okay with it though. Like I said, I kind of like when TV shows or movies use heavy makeup to kind of distract you away from who it is, and you really get to see, the actor or actress for what they're capable of, and
Yeah.
you really don't. You're not biased because you know who it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Example, that Colin Farrell and Batman.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a
perfect.
great one. Yeah.
Now,
So
Blake, have you watched any more Star Wars?
I have not, dude. What we're watching this week is honestly non-existent. I was on a vacation.
Okay.
Actually, I did watch a little bit of Stranger Things just because a few of my buddies, they had it on at the Airbnb. Granted, there wasn't too much hard viewing going on.
Sure.
But it was on, and it was kind of intriguing. So it was interesting enough. I was like, you know what? I think I may try to get to
The
that.
fourth season?
It's good, man.
The new season?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I also my key indicator that Blake is on vacation that I may or may not have known about is I finally see posts on Instagram.
Yep.
Exactly.
yeah. That'll do it. I've been told. So yeah. So that's funny, dude. I would say that's accurate. But yeah, so that's all I had was that. Somehow we also end up watching Django, which I don't really know how, but that was just something else that was just on. I think we were just sifting through Netflix just to have kind of some
something on the background. That's a good
Yeah.
movie, especially once you've seen it once. You can just put it on the background and then just like pick up a
Oh
scene,
yeah, that movie's
put
hilarious.
it down. Yeah.
So yeah, it worked out. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. Adam?
Yeah, so we've already covered a few things I've watched. Monaco. Actually, we've covered pretty much everything. Monaco, Tron, Inside. I'm not going to talk more about that, even though I could. And Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, honestly, we can just kind of roll right into the main review segment, which, of course, is Top Gun Maverick. We're getting right into the danger zone here, people.
Ooh, how many times do you think that joke is made on podcasts this week around the world?
Dozens. Dozens of times.
If not tens.
But we're still going to rock with it, man. I don't care.
I agree. I'm with you.
Nathaniel, if the listener is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how the danger zone works here at Back Row Banter?
What up, folks? Once you enter the danger zone here at Back Row Banter, it's split into two segments. There's the non-spoiler segment, and then there's the spoiler segment. Kind of like the sound barrier, mock. Yeah. So, yeah, if you, in the non-spoiler section, we'll go over... Oh, not next topic. This topic. It's IMDb page. What's new? What's in the what's new? Sorry, that really threw me off going to look down at my notes, and they were just not in the space I wanted them to be. We'll go through the IMDb page, go into its non-spoiler plot summary. Who's in it, who wrote it, all that good stuff. Go around the squadron, get our first reactions, recommendations. We have to recommend this movie. It has to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, we will be in the spoiler section. I'll play the spoiler sound. There'll be a show notes note so that if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, you can. But do come back and listen to the rest of our podcast so we can see where our podcast, where we can see where it ranks up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast, ranked. Now that I've fumbled through that one, Adam, tell me about Top Gun Maverick.
I would love to. This is a new movie, of course. Rated PG-13 and a runtime of 2 hours and 11 minutes, which I did not feel at all. Could have done 3 hours. Could have done 4. That's a stretch, but it's a good pace. Never feels like it really drags. There's always some kind of thing pushing the story forward, and I love it for that. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, who directed Tron Legacy.
That is correct.
And who is going to be directing the Formula One movie that has, I don't know if it's Tom Cruise. I think was it Brad Pitt and Lewis Hamilton attached to it?
I'm not sure.
I forgot who it was exactly.
Sounds
but
familiar.
It's a big star, and then Lewis Hamilton's attached in it as well. So he'll be directing some kind of Formula One movie on the horizon here.
Well, he's familiar with speed.
The need for speed. And written by Peter, a
couple different ones.
Yeah, the credits here are interesting. Oh, no, my computer is doing the same thing again.
I will help you out. There's
right,
a story by credits for Peter Craig and Justin Marks, and then there's a screen by credit for Aaron Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie.
There you go. Starring, let's see if I can still view this. There we go. Tom Cruise, of course, in the lead role of Maverick, reprising his role from the original. Jennifer Connelly plays Penny Benjamin. Miles Teller, the aforementioned friend of the pod. Val Kilmer returns. Bashir Salahuddin. Damn.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
No, that one sounds right. Thank you. It's a lot of vowels in between, a lot of syllables there. John Hamm, Charles Parnell, Monica Barbaro. Let's see, Lewis Pullman, there's a lot of people here. Louis Pullman, Jay Ellis, Danny Ramirez, Glenn Powell, Jack Schumacher, Manny.
I think you could probably call it
Jacinto?
there.
Yeah, probably call it there. Which one is the one? It's Hangman, right? The guy
that's Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell. You said, what did he star in before that you were really excited to see him in this?
Everybody Wants Some.
Everybody Wants Some. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Richard Linklater film.
Oh, yeah. Is that the baseball one?
It is.
Yeah, okay. You said you're pretty excited to see where he can kind of go career-wise.
Yes.
Right?
I think he's very charismatic.
Yeah, I agree. You can definitely tell in this one. So that's your main cast there. The IMDb summary reads as follows. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. That's like that feels like the summary of like the 30 years in between the first one and this one. It doesn't really cover what's in this movie.
True.
Actually. So let me fill you in here, listeners. Of course, you have Maverick. He's as the summary describes, he's kind of stagnant in his rank. He's still a captain in the Navy. Hasn't done much but fly, really. He's doing test pilot stuff. He's still flying on, at least it seems like he's gone on some missions.
So one step forward, 2 step back situation.
Kind of, yeah, exactly, yeah. So he's kind of remained stagnant. His career hasn't gone places. He, of course, as you see in the first one, has trouble with authority a little bit. Kind of a rogue in that sense.
He's writing checks his body can't cash.
Yeah, sure. You could go with that too. And so he's kind of. It's revealed he's kind of just remained in where he is because Iceman has done the opposite, where he's been able to advance to Admiral, I believe, and he's kind of back in Maverick and every wrong decision.
He's keeping him out of in the Navy. Basically.
Yeah, basically. So he's able to. Every time something goes wrong, Iceman's right there to back him up and keep him where he should be.
He's wingmanning him.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's finally, almost run out of options, and they're like, you know what? We would fire you, but you're going back to Top Gun. And you hear that word, and you're like, oh, we're going back.
We're in.
So, he's going at the end of the first one, of course, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go be an instructor at Top Gun. It's revealed he wasn't there for long after that first one, and then he kind of did other stuff with his aviation career. But he's going back for one last ride and is an instructor of the top pilots. They are doing a little all-star crew of all.
I think they're people that's graduated at the top of their class in the Top Gun in prior
exactly.
classes.
Yes. So people who have graduated number 1, I think, whatever you want to call it. They're bringing them all back for a top secret mission, mission that has never really been done before. Requires true skillful flying, and so the best of the best are coming back, and of course you get Maverick to teach them how to pull off this incredibly dangerous mission, and that's kind of where the movie goes. They have to figure out how to pull off this mission in a way that can be successful and then make everyone work together, that kind of thing. And of course Miles Teller's returning as the son of Goose.
Rooster
is his call sign. I forgot what's his actual name. Is
Bradley, I believe.
Bradley, yes, Bradley.
Bradley Bradshaw.
Bradley Bradshaw.
It's almost up there with Rico.
Yeah.
True.
So you have that dynamic there between Maverick and Rooster. There's some tension there for reasons I'll leave unknown. But
initial thoughts. What were your feelings?
I'm in, man. Like I said, I could get so much more of this movie. There's so much here to enjoy. I will say, the expectations I had going in were high.
Sure.
Just based on everything I've heard. Some people saying this is like one of the best action movies ever made. People, my brother, who we've already said has some questionable opinions as far as his music taste goes, saying he potentially liked this more than Dune.
Is this the brother I like or the brother I don't like?
This is the brother you had beef with.
Oh, see, well, we always knew.
Yeah. So, I had all this stuff going on, people saying on Twitter it's incredible, and I agree. It is incredible. Is it Dune level of incredible? I don't know, because I think visually there are two different styles of cinematography that are at the peak of those styles, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Dune, of course, is just aesthetically, visually in like it's all
action. It's action cinematography versus
exactly.
epic cinematography.
That's a perfect way to put it, Nathaniel. Thank you. So it's just it's hard to compare the two very different types of movies. For what this is incredible. It is so much better than the first one, and I think that's just the nature of the time and the technology and the advancements we've made and how we can make films and everything like that. I love it. You know, this is as good as a sequel can get, I think, because I think in a lot of ways this is just, it doesn't really miss in anywhere. It's hard for me to we'll get into spoilers, but there's not much I can really say like, oh, I wish they did this differently. I wish they did this differently. They do so much well. And I think that's all you can ask from a movie, really. I mean, I think a lot of people decrease their enjoyment when they have issues with it rather than something they tried wasn't, I don't know, I'm trying to word this, it's not very good, but it's like, they didn't do anything wrong more than they didn't do anything like super right in some ways. You know, of course, we said the action and the cinematography, that was done really, really well. But as far as like the story goes, there's not many issues I have there. You know, it's solid all the way around with some incredible action, very fun dogfighting, great characters, like everything all around was just really, really solid and it made for a very fun experience. I saw it in Dolby with Nathaniel and Waz, as we mentioned, and the Dolby Theater, of course, did this so much justice. Really great time. That is by far my favorite, movie experience. I've heard of 4D theaters nowadays.
Yes.
I'd like to experience that because I've heard that was really fun for this movie too.
I can imagine it's just a roller coaster.
Basically, yeah. So I'm I don't want to get to one of these days. But overall, yeah, this was great. This was really, really good. I obviously have some more like thoughts on everything going into spoilers, but I'm definitely recommend. Like this is something I think a lot of people would enjoy. Even if you haven't seen the first one, I don't know if you really need to. They do enough for you here where you can not watch the first one and go in and they explain anything that you need to know. And you'd still have a great time with it. So I'm definitely recommend. Blake, I know you had some trepidations going into this one, a little bit at least, especially after your kind of tame takeaway from the original.
Sure.
So what do you think here?
Yeah. To be honest with you guys, I liked it. And I liked it a lot. So to your point, I mean, I don't think you really necessarily have to be a fan of the original one. It was interesting, though, like the viewing I went to for the show, you can see a lot of the people I would presume were there because of the original Top Gun.
Sure.
Where it was like a much older crowd. But just for my viewing of the movie, right, being, I would say, an above average moviegoer, right, in terms of knowledge of film and things of that nature, I was able to appreciate it just for being a standalone 2020s action movie. And like, I was good with that. You know what I mean? So that's when it was good. Good plot, character development. The action is top tier. You know what I mean? Like second to none, to be completely honest with you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it hit everything that I want to see out of a 2020s action movie, regardless of my my opinion on the original film, right? Which, as we kind of went through, is not really my taste, probably not really my crowd, and it's just an 80s action movie, you know? So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Didn't go in with like very low expectations, but came out and I was like, wow, this is way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So,
Tyler, you want to go or you want me to go?
Please.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk about it. I overall enjoyed this movie for sure. I definitely agree with everything that I feel like has been said on the pod so far in terms of its, it hits the notes it wants to hit and hits them incredibly well, I would say overall. Story-wise, I think that it follows very loosely, kind of more or less the plot of the original. Not in necessarily certain story beats, but in kind of the pacing of the movie, even in a way, and kind of the framing of each thing. That, like, certain plot points may be slightly different, but the overall like fight idea is more or less the same. The old criticisms of characters, I would say, the bit with Jennifer Connelly could have had more to do overall, I think. I think the kind of theme of fatherhood in this one was hit or miss in some areas, overall, I still think I have a little bit of a hard time buying Tom Cruise in that role so much. Though he's very good at it in War of the Worlds, so I don't know. We'll see. But maybe just at this point in his career, I'm kind of at that point.
Yeah.
And with the Maverick character.
I think that's more just maybe him and the Maverick character.
Sure. Overall, yeah, cinematography-wise, though, action movie-wise, you know, top tier in that regard. Very, very exciting. You know, in terms of making the theater feel like, you know, we were all going through something together, anything like that. Very good at kind of tapping into those emotions. Yeah, overall, definitely a recommend. I'll probably have more thoughts, you know, in the spoiler section. But, yes, definitely recommend for me. Blake already kind of hit on it as well, too. Seems to have very much captured that kind of mid-40s to, you know, 50s audience more effectively than I think a lot of movies recently have done. You know,
Absolutely.
so maybe it may boast or build a little bit more of that audience back into movie theaters, which would be cool. So, yeah. Tyler, your thoughts. You just saw this today, right?
I did.
You're fresh off that octane, huh?
A full-blown recommend.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they came out strong. And, you know, we obviously try our hardest to not have any people, you know, influence us or, you know, try to give too many opinions before we see it. And, you know, all I heard were, you know, good things about this before, you know, I went in. So I kind of had somewhat high expectations. And I think they nailed it. Obviously, the action is like Nathaniel said, top tier. You know, I think Tom Cruise always does a really good job in, you know, his emotional roles as well. You can definitely see it here, and the nostalgia factor is 2 thumbs way up.
Sure.
You know, from the very get-go, they're playing like the same exact soundtrack, the same exact opening from the original.
Sure.
But you know, I think in a lot of ways this is better than the original, man. You know, between bringing back some characters, you know, that we've stated in past episodes that we like, you know, whether it's with Scream, we'll see it again in Jurassic Park, and then this, you know, you're not only bringing back Maverick, but you're bringing back Val Kilmer, who is just a huge piece of that story and kind of, you know, how Tom has gone. But I really liked it. We can obviously get into it a little bit more, but yeah, kick-ass movie. Recommend.
So I think that's 4 recommends around.
As it should be.
I certainly recommend. I don't know if I verbalize that, but yes, I do recommend the film.
Cool. Well, we're going to head on into spoilers then here for Top Gun Maverick. If you've not seen the film and do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check that episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie up upon the Entropy list.
Up upon.
Spoilers. Now we're really in the danger zone, huh?
We're taking the highway to it.
Shit
Goes
down in the sky.
It goes up. It goes inverted.
It goes inverted. It goes at
10
Gs. It goes at 9 Gs up Coffin's Point, whatever.
Coffin Corner.
Coffin Corner. Thank you, man.
So they're training for this mission, which is on some nameless Eastern European piece of land, basically.
Coast.
And they've got to go up a Death Star trench run at a very low or a very low altitude, very high speed.
It's immediately what I thought of too.
Yeah, and then they got to go up and over the lip of like a volcano, basically, or a mountain. Make it inverted, flip back over, shoot a Death Star exhaust port missile, and then they've got to do that twice, and then come out the other side and get immediately into a dogfight.
And evade hella missiles and
if they don't do it fast enough, the 5th generation fighters are on their tail.
Yeah.
And somehow we still got enough time in this movie to show a great shot of Tom Cruise running.
We did. We had to get it. Which I think will go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the scene of him running. Obviously, you're kind of like the running jokes. Like, when are we going to see Tom Cruise running? That you get the scene where his I guess what's the correct term? Ship?
Plane?
His plane.
Plane?
Plane.
Gets blown down, right? So then he's running. And then I'm just like, how far is this guy running? Right. Like that was just like the first thing I thought. I was like, that's got to be
2 miles.
That's got to be half a mile. Yeah, so it was funny to see that, and he gets there and like he's not even remotely out of breath. But nonetheless, go ahead, Ed.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I wonder if this is going to really screw up everyone's Tom Cruise running theory, where the more he runs, the more successful his movies are. Because I think they're projecting it to break his career box office debut is what that's what they're aiming for. I don't know if they'll hit that. I feel like they could, honestly.
I feel like they could too.
I really do, especially with all the acclaim and the great reviews that it's been getting. I don't think it's surprising at all.
Considering, like, I feel like if this movie came out on its original date, it would not have this response.
When was the original date?
I think it was like 2020 or something like that. Like,
it did get delayed 2 times, at least once for sure, of course, but at least maybe 2 times. But yeah, I don't know when they filmed this. It must have been 2018 or 2019 at this point.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. It definitely feels like it was probably a while ago. I don't remember the original release date though. I do think you're right. It might have been in 2020 at some point. But why they would delay it all the way to now? Maybe it was the fact that theaters weren't opened up, and of course they probably want this on a big screen.
It was supposed to be July 4th, 2020.
Wow.
So 2 years afterwards, basically.
Yeah. Imagine filming a movie like in 2018 and it doesn't come out for 4 years, and then you have to do like interviews for it, and you're like, yeah, that was a long time ago. Let me kind of remember.
But I think that's kind of like what happened with like No Time to Die. But
yes, definitely.
This is just like even outpacing that too and stuff.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I think it's just interesting that they've waited this long for it, and it's getting this kind of amount of response still as well.
But do you think that's because the original film is 30 plus years old?
Yeah, I mean, like, clearly, like you said, they've got that market that has gone back that I kind of thought was just gone from theaters forever, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely about it.
Yeah.
I wonder if
what was the crowd like, or what was the scene of your guys' viewing? Was it the same crowd?
Pretty big mix, honestly.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, probably skewed a little bit more like what you're describing, Blake. Okay. But overall, yeah, I mean, it was 8 o'clock on Memorial Day, so it was like a pretty big overall mix, I would say, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say if this might be one of those movies we look back on in like 10 years and be like, this saved theaters for at least a little bit longer.
Seems like it. It may have the potential.
You laugh, Tyler, but like Dune is the only other biggest release I could think of for like people going to theaters, but I still think a lot of people watch that on HBO Max because it came straight to HBO Max.
Yeah, I heard
at the same time.
I've definitely heard people like, you know, Top Gun has done what people thought Tenet was going to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think this is
Tenet
probably
was just at the wrong time though.
I think it was a little premature, and I think Nolan.
Pandemic.
Yeah, I think
it
was
too advanced.
It was a little premature, and I think Nolan was just, you know, kind of forcing that out. Even though I feel like, what if he did wait? And
who knows?
Exactly. I think that's a question he's probably asking himself right now. Who knows what would have happened if he did what he did with this one? Imagine he waited until after Batman came out and Pattinson had all that popularity. Now he releases it this September instead of September of 2020. Like, who knows?
Who knows? But Top Gun.
I think my favorite part about this movie is this third act here, and of course, like, yeah, this is where all the action happens. But what they do with that third act is really interesting, where you have that climax of the initial bombing run, if you want to say that, the initial Death Star trench run.
Sure.
And then the third act has 2 parts to it. Essentially, it has 2 climaxes where you have that initial run, and you're kind of expecting, you know, that kind of just be at the end of it, and okay, maybe Maverick is actually gone, and maybe Rooster does leave him behind and all that stuff, and like maybe you're like, okay, maybe we'll probably turn around for that. But then it has a whole second half of that third act that has another mini climax to it, where it's like, all right, our two main characters now have to get out.
Yeah, they get in the F-14.
And they get the F-14.
The classic Top Gun
exactly.
plane. And they got to take down the 5th generation fighters.
The 5th generation fighters. So now, 2 or 3 generations removed?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And then luckily Han Solo saves the day.
Of course, yeah.
Or Hangman, as he is in this movie.
Yeah.
It really is just the Death Star trench run just with fighter jets, isn't it? I hadn't really thought about that.
No, it really is. And I thought that immediately when they pulled up the map of the trench, or they pulled the first time that they pulled up the AOE or whatever you want to call it, like the terrain,
the map,
and and I just see a canyon, and then it's got zigzags, and then it's got a big center part with like a hole that's a very small target. I'm like, okay, cool, it's the Death Star.
Right.
All right, I'm bored. Like I'm not mad.
No bigger than a womp rat.
No bigger than a womp rat. Yeah. What was the canyon run on Tatooine?
Beggar's Canyon.
Beggar's Canyon. Yeah. Maverick ran Beggar's Canyon back in Top Gun '88, whatever it was. So yeah, it was kind of the same beats there. Do I care? No. What I told Nathaniel and Waz after the screening was over was I thought it was really interesting, and I guess they do this in the first one. How it's just like. Yeah, enemy base, enemy uranium plant, enemy planes, no enemy territory, no name given to that enemy, which is, again, they did it in the first one, which is right at the tail end of the Cold War, and they did it in this one again, which is another tumultuous time in geopolitics. So I just thought that was funny how they're unnamed once again. Do I care? Not really. I think they do a good job kind of walking their way around it. Would I enjoy it maybe a little bit more if they had a identified country or whatever behind it? Maybe, but I don't think it matters at the end of the day.
I'm with you. Any kind of big final thoughts from you two?
I love this thing. I'm a pretty big fan of the first one, and I'm probably the closest one to the first one as far as when I first saw it and kind of what it means to me. And
so you're old is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad was really excited to see this. I know Papa Schwartz was too.
He hasn't seen it yet, but yeah, he's pretty excited.
Yeah, so my dad was like, we're doing a double feature. We're going to see Doctor Strange, and then we're going to see Top Gun. He's like, I'm so excited. He called me like right after. He was hyped. He called me again today when I was on my way to the theater. I'm like, just chill, dog. I don't want to hear too much. I just need you to take a breath. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. I think it held true to what the old Top Gun was, and I think it definitely brought a lot of that with it. And I think that's why this thing is going to be so powerful. And I think they improved a shit ton on, everything that you feel like you're kind of missing. They took out a lot of the one-liners and they made their jokes have a little bit more depth. And then it, kind of ties back into the story and you're kind of like, well, what's their past look like? Or what's that mean? Or, what have they kind of had, that we haven't seen? And that comes through between Miles Teller and Hangman. You get it between Tom Cruise and obviously Miles Teller. You get it through Ice a little bit with Val Kilmer, and who essentially does zero talking. I thought he was really great. He actually does have cancer, so that is real. But yeah, man, it was obviously sad to see him pass away in the overall movie, and that's obviously something that that's Tom Cruise's driving point. It's either commit, take care of the mission, and do what you got to do, or throw in the towel and quit. And that's kind of his driving, his motivation, and obviously Miles Teller's character is a part of that motivation too. But it's cool, man. You get the piano scene in the bar.
Yeah. Great balls of fire.
Yep. So, and you can actually see, Miles definitely did some research on, the actor that played Goose in the first one, and definitely took a lot of that stuff away and brought that stuff with them. And it's fun, man. It's fun. It's action packed. The planes, dogfight and everything was not shot in one day.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Even with when they come out of the top going like 10 G's or whatever it is, and they're in coffin corner, and everyone's like left, right, left, and in the first one, I feel like you would have lost a lot of that. You wouldn't been able to pull that stuff off, obviously, and it would have been very confusing. But even with people flying in different directions and there being hundreds of missiles or even 50 different missiles, you really know kind of where everyone's at and kind of what everyone's doing. And I think you obviously get that with the newer technology and stuff like that. But super fun, shot really well.
Yeah, seeing the G's on their faces as they're climbing up out of there and stuff was pretty crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, I think I'm with Ty on that in terms of just, and it makes me sound so like prisoner of the moment, or I guess prisoner of my age. But I do think I like this movie that much more because it's a modern film.
Sure.
Right. And that's not saying that films that are older aren't masterpieces or things of that nature. But yeah, it was just much more digestible for me just as a standalone action film. Where to Ty's point, like you got good cinematography, you're able to get those cuts where they're going through and they got the missile shooting at them and people are kind of looking out for each other. It's very teamwork-esque, like a game, sports, something of that nature, right? As well as the acting. I do like Miles Teller a lot, to be honest with you. And Adam, I know why you like him a lot, obviously because of Whiplash. But that's also one of the reasons why I do like him. Because although that wasn't my introduction to him, it was actually one of the worst movies ever created in four stick. But he was pretty good in that movie. And then I saw Whiplash, and he was pretty good in that as well. So, yeah, just overall, I really liked it. The pacing was good. Yeah, I honestly, I was pleasantly surprised for this is now the third week of the past 5 shows, I think, or the past 5 episodes we've done, excuse me, where I've kind of gone in and I was like, yeah, I think it'll be good. And then I walked in and I was like, hey, this is way better than I thought. So, yeah, I don't have any complaints.
Dope.
Cool.
I forgot what I was going to say exactly. Oh, yeah, I went back to Tyler saying, you know, like when you have all these things going on at once with whatever 50 missiles, people saying going left, going right, and like you can kind of tell what's going on. I think we talk about a lot with like action movies or even with the Marvel movies, or we talk about it in Marvel watching with a lot of the Marvel shows, especially with like the fight choreography and being lost or confused with what's going on with a lot of quick cuts and everything like that. And there are a lot of quick cuts in this, but you can always tell what's going on. And you're never really lost, and it's never really confusing as to who's who, what's going on, who's where. And that's something even the first one has trouble with, where the footage isn't nearly as refined, or it's not as controlled as the footage of the flying is in this one. So you don't always keep track of who's who and what plane is flown by who. Whereas this one, like, you never really are lost. You always know what's going on, and that is another testament to the storytelling and cinematography, of course, that we've already kind of talked about. So just another props to the film for sure. I will say I really wanted like a post-credit scene where it's like maybe them at the bar and they like give Bob a helmet that says like Bullseye on it or something like that. And they finally give him a call sign. I feel like that would have been a great touch.
I like Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob was a cool character. I don't mind the fact that like he never got a call sign. I just feel like it'd be a nice little full circle ending for that team if like they just surprised him with like his call sign on his helmet or whatever it was. I was hoping for something like that, but of course he's not the main character. It's Maverick.
So his call sign's Bob, dog.
Okay. I'd be so disappointed if my call sign was just Adam. Yeah, what's up? No, you go ahead. What's up?
Just in terms of kind of the post-credit scene, and I had that original thought as well with me. I was like, I wonder if there's a post-credit scene. So I kind of sat there. But then I don't know, is that just us being so accustomed to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, where like every fucking movie we watch, it's like, man, there might be a post-credit scene that addresses something. Like, does any of that play a role?
Oh, 100%. And like, it just feels like every blockbuster you see nowadays, you're always kind of maybe expecting something after the credits scene, even though it's mainly a superhero thing. And in this one, I was just like, I didn't even look it up because I was like, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. If there is, I'll see it online. But I just feel like that would have been a nice post-credit scene to add, or maybe something at the end of the film, or maybe you don't even have to have audio on it. It's one of those things that they, as they're panning to all the characters with music playing over or something like that, it's just them and handing them the helmet, and you kind of just get a second of a shot of Bullseye, and they're handing it to Bob, like that kind of thing, or whatever call sign they gave him. But I feel like that would have just been a nice moment as far as like closing things on the team and how that goes, because you do. That's another great thing about this movie we haven't really talked about. The characters are great. That whole flight team is really good together. They're playing dogfight football, whatever it was. That was a great scene. I was like overjoyed when I saw them on the beach. I was like, yes, they're bringing it back.
Yeah, that was cool.
It would have been fun if they were playing volleyball again, but I don't mind. It was like dogfight football or whatever.
You get the little Miles Teller shimmy.
Yeah. John,
everyone's fucking ripped.
Yeah, everyone's jacked.
Yeah, I can't believe we said that last time about Tom Cruise. I can't believe he's fucking 60-something years old,
Dude,
or however
right?
old he is. I still can't believe that.
Yeah, Nathaniel and I were saying, we were all talking about after the movie ended, where like that intro, thanks for coming to the theaters kind of thing by Tom Cruise, he actually did finally look old for once in that.
For sure. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck they got the guy acting
No,
as.
I'm sure they.
But that guy talking.
That looks like they filmed that like this year, whereas they probably filmed,
For
like I
sure.
said, this movie 4 years ago. And while there's not 4 years of age in the difference, there is
some age.
There's definitely some age, and there's definitely other things probably going on that help him hide his age a little bit. Maybe some camera work, of course, some camera magic. But regardless, even in that little welcome or thank you for coming to the theaters or thank you for watching the film thing, like he didn't even look 60.
Definitely not.
Yeah, like so.
No, he looks good, man.
Looks great. He's still running, so he's got that going for him. Who is your guys' favorite new call sign here?
Hangman.
Hangman was pretty dope.
Yeah,
right?
I think Hangman. Yeah.
And also, like when you learn the reasoning behind it, you know why they call him Hangman, right? Because he always leaves his wingman hanging out there to dry.
Yeah,
That's a good reason for it.
I don't know if that's my favorite call sign, but it's definitely my favorite helmet design for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like Maverick's space helmet in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
how it still has
his
Maverick
mock
on it.
test helmet.
It's like on the back. Yeah, that's sick too.
Which is a great sequence.
Favorite call sign. I really like Cyclone.
Yeah.
Cyclone's lit.
Cyclone's dope. Phoenix is cool. I like Phoenix a lot. Fanboy. That was a good one. There was something.
Payback.
Payback. Yeah, all the good call signs all around.
Yeah.
Rooster, I think, is lame.
No, it follows up with Goose.
It does. I wish they would have called it. Like,
I actually really like Rooster.
Rooster's fine. I don't know. I didn't like it that much personally.
Would you prefer it to be like?
I was gonna prefer it to be like Mongoose or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Mongoose would have been cool.
Mongoose.
Yeah, Mongoose.
It's
It's not even in the bird
yeah,
family.
that's a totally different
cares?
type of animal. But I mean, I could understand.
I don't know. Does
Just
it
because it has
cool.
Goose in it.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
does it have to be in the bird family? I don't know.
I think
Cougar.
Rooster
I
works.
think it
There's
should
a
have been
cougar.
a B. So it's Bradley B something. Bradshaw.
Wasp.
BBB.
Blizzard or Blackjack.
Blackjack.
Basilisk.
Ooh. Okay. I think that's too many syllables.
That's a big rooster
Is it?
in the not the Harry Potter version, but yeah, most of the time it's like it's found under a rooster laying in a snake egg or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barracuda.
Yeah. The last thing I want to touch on here is something that my brother brought up that I referenced his friend Joe who works in Hollywood. He passed this along to me, where his not necessarily theory on the film, but there's a beat at the beginning between Maverick and Ed Harris's character, I think General Kane or whoever it is, where he's saying like
Drones.
the drones, you know,
Sure.
and so you're manned planes are not the future. Like eventually
Right.
that era of flying and everything is going to go extinct. There's nothing you can do about it. And Maverick goes, you're right, but this is all I can do, and this is who I am, and I'm going to continue to do it as long as I can. And looking at that retrospectively or outside of the movie, that's his theory is which I like a lot, and I definitely feel I could play into it, where it's kind of drawing a comparison to Hollywood, where they're at with CGI and practical action movies, where Tom Cruise is the action hero, classic Hollywood action, and he's saying, Hollywood's going in a direction of CGI, where all these action movies are heavy CGI, a lot of computers being put into place for all these in exchange for practical effects, and that change is kind of inevitable, and it's already here, and that's the future. And while that is something Tom Cruise can't prevent, he is an action hero. He's an action actor. That's who he is at his core, and he's going to ride that out as long as he can. And this movie is that. This movie is him proving that practical effects are still worthy and still attainable, and they're still entertaining, and people will still go see them, and it still serves for a great movie. And even though that's the case with CGI being the future, like there's still an audience for that. And Tom Cruise is the man, is Maverick of Hollywood, where he is that action hero that can still bring those movies to life. And so I really liked that. Thought I'd pass that along.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So not a not necessarily a serious bit of information for the movie itself, but when you kind of look at that outside of it, I like it a lot. So I thought I'd pass that along. Anything else we want to touch on here before we rank it up upon?
Let's get it up upon the entropy list.
All right. Well, welcome back, listeners who skipped over this spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Top Gun Maverick up upon the entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it ends up being. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you would like to reference the entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Okay, so original is at 62.
Good to know.
Are we thinking higher?
My vote is absolutely higher.
It's absolutely higher.
For sure.
It is that. Like that. That's not a question in my mind. How much higher is the actual question? Oh wow, Letterboxd loaded on my computer. Love to see it.
Fun. All right, well, who's kicking us off here? Because I'm definitely not going first on this one.
I'm still pulling it up here, but give me a second. But let me know whenever someone has an idea here. So you said 62 for the original.
Yeah, I'll kick it off then. Just probably being kind of the most unbiased opinion, right, from not really a nostalgia standpoint or anything of that nature. Looking down, I see Die Hard at 57, No Time to Die 58, Eternals, Black Widow. I'm definitely going above those. And I'm just kind of talking out loud here as I'm thinking.
Please do.
Blade 44, District 9 42. You know what? I'm gonna go 45.
45. So below Blade and above Frozen 2. Any particular justification for that?
Actually, I'll flip that. I'll go 44. So
44.
I'll put it above Blade.
Above Blade, below Nightmare Alley.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just kind of looking at like kind of our action entropy list, quote unquote, right? Just kind of judging it off that factor. Definitely above all those ones that are in the 50 and below. Then you got the Blade. District 9 was probably the one I kind of had a tough time putting it over District 9. I really like that film. And just kind of the portrayal of like aliens and the human relationship and things of that nature. So that's kind of where I was like, I think I'm going to have to cap it there. But then I also see like Tokyo Drift at 37. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's hard. But I'm going to stand on that for now. We'll see if my opinion changes once you guys start ranking it. But
very well could.
I have some leeway with that.
Okay.
That'll be my final answer.
Okay. I will say I'm looking here at a 36 below Kill Bill Volume 2 and above Pig. I think
Okay. Yeah.
that area is I think perfect for this movie, and then I look at the movies in that area. I think I'd have a hard time placing it above Kill Bill Volume 2 because that movie is just so good, and that sinking down anymore is tough because the fact that it's already down at 35 is really rough. And the movies above that are pretty solid. You got Deadpool, Suicide Squad, Shang-Chi is really good for what it is, Doctor Strange really good, Boys in the Hood, Scream, all those fantastic movies, all classics for sure. And I think this, deserves to be ranked amongst them. Even the movies below it are good as well. So, 36 is where it's ranking for me.
Yeah.
Ty or Nathaniel?
Or excuse me, Nathaniel, Ty.
Go ahead, Ty.
Tough. First movie I kind of looked at was Die Hard because I thought action, and then I was like, wow, this is definitely gonna go up above that. And then I was kind of with you guys. I was kind of looking at Blade, Tokyo Drift, and I saw Black Hawk Down.
Where is Black Hawk Down?
27.
Oh wow, yeah. See, I didn't even scroll that high.
And that's a war movie somewhat similar vein. I think this obviously has a little bit more of a nostalgia factor, and this is obviously not from true events, so
Sure.
Black Hawk Down has that on it. The Conjuring is something that obviously is really great. Scream, good. God, man, I think I'm gonna probably go 29.
29.
Okay.
Below The Conjuring and above Scream.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah, I think man, this is a tough one. I think I'm kind of along with you guys. I think I'm going to actually put this one at 41. Similar to kind of vibes to what Adam was saying as an action movie, Kill Bill Volume 2, I don't think it's going to be above that for me. And then I was looking at kind of like that Pig, Tokyo Drift, Dr. Sleep range. Then I saw Weathering with You, and I just thought as like a storyline sort of thing. All of those movies are a little bit stronger on that side. I think the exception being Tokyo Drift, but like that's almost even similar to this for me. But then I think like District 9, Nightmare Alley, Blade, I definitely think it's above or right at that quality. So I'm going to put it at right below Weathering with You, right above Paid in Full, 41.
Fair. Blake, are you changing your ranking at all?
The only thing that makes me want to reconsider is, as I said, the Tokyo Drift placement. But I don't know. I don't personally. It's hard for me to put it above District 9 and Paid in Full. That's a hard one for me to get behind. I think I'm gonna sit where it's at.
Fair enough. Well, that leaves us at a ranking of 37. So we're gonna have to tie break it with what we've been saying, Tokyo Drift.
This wins. It's an 8.7.
8.7 still. Oh, I never said how much it is on IMDb. Yeah, it's an 8.7.
Holy crap.
So,
yeah,
which is really high.
Yeah, I saw your message on that. And I forgot what day that was.
It was like Thursday or
something
Friday.
like that. Yeah. And that was surprising. I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't think it'd be that high.
Yeah. So, where is that then? It's in between Tokyo Drift, above Tokyo Drift and below
Pig.
Good spot.
I like it.
Me too. All right, well, that's locked in there for 37. Next week's review, we forgot to talk about this before pod. I meant to bring it up. We don't have anything scheduled, so I think it might be time for post-pod Adam here.
Post-pod Adam.
As we decide what it is that we are going to be watching. Post-pod Adam, what are we watching?
Jurassic Park.
Probably. Yep. They're right. We're watching Jurassic Park in preparation for Jurassic World Dominion. So get ready for that with Jurassic Park, which is currently streaming on HBO Max. Check that out and join us for our review next week. Well, I'm just so excited for that review, guys. So check that out next week, whatever post-pod Adam told you to watch and wherever he told you to watch it. What else we got here, Nathaniel? Any 5-star reviews?
No 5-star reviews, but if you want to give us a 5-star review in-app on Apple Podcasts, figuring out how to do it on Spotify. But if it's 5 stars, we'll read it out on the podcast. And it can be mean, it can be funny, it can be nice, it can be really cool. Just don't be evil. And if it's 5 stars, you'll hear it read out. But not if it's not 5 stars. Otherwise, too bad. You'll suffer in silence. So other than that, Adam, boot us home.
Would love to. You can also share the podcast. Share with a friend, a family member, maybe your Rio right behind you.
Your squadron.
Yeah. Maybe you guys are preparing for a top secret mission that some might not make it out of and go, you know what, guys? This is a tense moment.
Let's chill out.
Play some dogfight football and just listen to an episode of Back Row Banter. So yeah, share it with whoever you can. Help us grow. It's we can only do so much here. We need some help as far as growth goes. So that comes to you, dear listener. So yeah, spread us around. Do that. You can follow the podcast. You can do so by following us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and our YouTube, it's just Back Row Banter. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of that sort is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some things, giving my thoughts to anything I find of high value. So probably not necessarily on Top Gun, but we'll see what we got going there. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on there. You can see what I'm watching.
Cool. Ty?
Twitch.tv/L Trabajo 87. We had a pretty decent watch the other day. We had like 7-8 people pretty consistently.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Apex, baby. Come chill, come hang out. I also opened Pokemon cards, which was lit. So a new set came out over the weekend, so that was fun. Anyways, my other plugs are Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES, Nathaniel.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at NSGingrich. Follow me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Other podcasts, Sandpiper Tapes. And Adam, close us out, bud.
Found me on Twitter at Aish24 and on Letterboxd at Aish. Twitch is going to be dormant for a while as I'm in DC for all of June and July. But you can still find me and follow me over there at twitch.tv/Aish. I think that's it for episode 104, Top Gun Maverick. Join us next week for our review of whatever post-pod Adam told you to watch. And, thank you all for listening, especially if you made it this far. You're my favorite kind of listener, and we really do appreciate it. We'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will BRB.
Thanks for stopping by and help us grow. We appreciate it. Do anything for it. We do anything for it. We do anything for you. Also, just tell your loved ones that you love them. You never know when something could happen. But we'll BRB.
Yeah, we appreciate the support as always. Thanks for listening. Feel free to share with a friend, and we'll BRB.
America, ready for another lesson.
Nathaniel and I had a stargazing adventure last night.
We met a dude tripping on acid.
That too, yeah. It was.
Were you guys with Brett?
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, so I came over after Top Gun.
Was that your first time doing acid, Adam?
No. He wasn't
I did
doing
not
it.
do acid. No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We met a man who was just wandering around the little pond here, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go drop acid." And we were like, "Okay, bro. Safe travels, brother."
Yeah. And so we moved to a different spot after that.
Sure.
Because he didn't seem like the kind of guy I wanted to be around while he's on acid.
What did he have? Was that a Bluetooth speaker? That
he was carrying around a skateboard and a Bluetooth speaker.
And he was initially jamming
music out loud.
Yep.
Yeah, initially jamming to some pretty aggressive punk rock.
Yeah. And then so we left and went to a different spot, tried to find somewhere else that was a little bit more dark and comfortable too, because we were like standing up, staring straight at the sky. It was the meteor shower. There was a meteor shower last night that Brett was excited about, and so we all kind of went out there.
And then I woke up and I was a girl in a.
Yeah, I had a wild dream last night. And then we went to a different spot around the lake, kind of on the other side of it. That was a little bit darker, a little bit more comfortable. We were able to kind of lay out a little bit, and then we stayed there for a while.
But they heard coyotes moving, or they heard something in the bush.
And then we have, of course, Waz's puppy Electra, and then Brett's dog Leo, who are what? What is their relation? Half brothers?
They're a little more than half brother, because technically
half siblings.
Yeah, technically they have the same dad, and their moms are sisters.
Wow. Their dad's a dog.
Whore.
Nah, their dad's slaying. Anyway, two dogs, and then we were by the forest line to I'm assuming it's like some kind of preserve or.
I think the creek runs back there.
Creek, okay, sure. And so then Electra at one point stared off into the woods, barked, and then her ears perked up or something like that, and Waz was like, we should probably move because there's two dogs there. We didn't really know what was gonna happen because there could be coyotes. So we went back to the dock, and the dude was still chilling there. And we get back, and he's playing. What was he playing initially? He was playing acoustic stuff, and then he switched to jazz.
Yeah, apparently, Waz says he was playing the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack.
Which it did sound like that.
It could have been.
It definitely could have been. I haven't seen enough Cowboy Bebop to confirm, but I know that kind of style of it, and it definitely sounded like it.
Which I was chill with.
I was also chill with, until I heard him scream, "The council awaits."
I did not hear that.
You didn't hear that?
No.
No, he just said to himself, "The council awaits," as we were standing there, and I was like, "Okay, buddy."
Wow.
And
then he was like, "Hey, are you the same
yeah,
people?"
and about 10 minutes later, he shouts out to us, "Hey, are you the same people?" And we were like, I didn't respond. Brett after like about 2 or 3 seconds of like silence was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Cool. I just saw shadows. Wanted to make sure." We're like, "Yep." And then that was that. We left that area about 10 minutes after that and went to the tennis courts, and then that was about it.
I would have told him like I was the council or some shit.
Well, I was just like, "We're the cops."
We're the cops. We're the feds.
We are the Penteveret.
Yeah, something he got over to us while we were standing on the dock, and he was like, "Oh, I'm about to trip acid." Something tells me he already taken some. Didn't seem right when he got over here, or got over to where we were.
He was on a journey, man.
Hey, I respect it, but I just didn't want to accompany him on any part of that journey. I also don't want to face the council. That sounds scary.